Jeff Hardy looks to be done with AEW and could debut for another wrestling company as soon as tomorrow. This according to multiple reports from Fightful and PW Insider. We're going to talk about not only what his contract status with AEW is, but also what could be next for the charismatic enigma, one of the coolest stars in the history of professional wrestling, Jeff Hardy. All that, much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, without further ado, let's talk about Jeff Hardy. His contract status with All Elite Wrestling has kind of been up in the air. It has been speculated that even though his contract was technically, or thought to at least, expire at some point this year, that injury time plus all of the other time that Hardy had essentially away from television due to his legal troubles would be added back to his contract. Well, according to Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has learned that former WWE and TNA World Champion Jeff Hardy is set to become a free agent on Friday, that is June 14th. Originally, it was believed that AEW could or would add significant injury/sabbatical time to Jeff Hardy's deal, but that does not appear to be the case as of Wednesday. Report goes on to read, we can confirm that we've also heard Jeff Hardy is planned for a TNA return, as PW Insider had reported. It is worth noting PW Insider also did say that the expectation is that Jeff Hardy will return to TNA this weekend, and they just so happen to have, against all odds, a big show for them this weekend. Let's talk about what all of this means now. I mean, of course, first of all, the AEW piece. Ever since Matt Hardy departed from the company, it has been widely speculated and expected that if Hardy could follow his brother, that he would. Matt even has gone out of his way to say as much. He has stated a few times that he really would like to once again team up with his brother, that he really would like to have a Hardy Boys reunion in TNA. And now it looks like that is going to happen. You know, as far as, first, let's talk about his run in AEW. As far as Hardy's run in AEW, I mean, outside of the first kind of few months that he had in AEW, which were awesome. Like, that was when we saw the Hardys reunite. We saw them do so with their old music. We saw them do so with you know, almost a rejuvenance to their characters, and something that Matt Hardy at this point really needed. But then we kind of got into this phase after he had done the cool stuff with Matt, after he had done really cool stuff, had basically a dream match with Darby Allin. It kind of obviously was interrupted. And it was interrupted due to legal reasons. Jeff Hardy got a DUI, I believe. And ever since then, it has been tough sledding, to say the least, for the former world champion. Now, as far as what happened there, like, I mean, look, it is what it is. AEW did not choose to fire him. Instead, they chose at least to wait out the legal process, then bring him back. When he did come back, they didn't do much. And as recently as a few months ago, his last match was with Sammy Guevara, where he suffered a broken nose. He has not wrestled since then, and now he is gone from the company. If we were to look and grade the run of Jeff Hardy in All Elite Wrestling, it probably wouldn't get high marks, if we're being honest, because outside of the first few months, he didn't really do much. And it's okay. Sometimes people don't work out. It is very sad that at this point, it does not look like we are going to get the Adam Copeland and Christian versus the Hardys match that everyone has dreamed and you know, pondered and hoped for ever since Adam Copeland debuted in All Elite Wrestling. Could very well still happen. We know that I believe we know that, like, you know, Matt Hardy has said he's still open to maybe doing that. We know that the wrestling forbidden door is kind of wide open. Of course, TNA right now has an ongoing partnership with WWE, but crazier things have happened, and look, I would expect Tony Khan to make as many overtures as possible and do what needs to be done in order to get that match to occur whenever Adam Copeland is ready and back and the story calls for it. So we'll see. I want to say this. I think the likelihood of that happening is higher than 50%, but we'll have to see what happens when that plays out. But of course, this coming weekend, there is a big TNA pay-per-view that Jeff Hardy could come and disrupt and make his return to TNA, I should say. It's not a debut. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens because he being Matt Hardy, has a big match. Matt Hardy, I should say, has a world championship match against Moose. And we have seen the return of the broken Matt Hardy character, a character that I personally loved, a character that didn't really vibe with most of the regular All Elite Wrestling audience. I loved it personally as someone who, watches basically everything in wrestling, including AEW. And I would say I probably prefer the style of AEW to other companies. But I loved the broken Matt Hardy character. I thought that it was so different, so fresh. And it's one of those things. Goofy, silly, magic stuff in wrestling. It only worked so far as you can pull it off. And I thought the way Matt Hardy and Jeff and even Matt Hardy's kids and Rebby, the way they all pulled it off was immaculate. And not many people could have, but they did. And I know it's not going to be seen fondly as from many wrestling fans, but I love it. There's definitely a large subsect of the audience that does love it. So I fully expect that to happen. I fully expect Jeff Hardy, to be there at Against All Odds and maybe in some way help his brother win the TNA World Championship. And think about what that means, because there could be a situation where you have TNA World Champion Matt Hardy flanked by his brother Jeff in NXT in a matter of a few weeks. We are in a bizarre world when it comes to pro wrestling. We are in a very fun time when it comes to pro wrestling because literally anything can happen. And that is the beautiful part. When you have the unexpected moments that wrestling is providing us at this time, when you have these moves and these departures and these signings of free agents and the possibilities for matches you didn't think were going to happen, it makes the entire industry more exciting. And it makes people more engaged with the product. And of course, people are going to look at ratings and be like, oh, well, ratings are down across the board. What do you mean? The thing is, that's not the only way to measure engagement. It's not the only way to measure, success. Like, we'll be honest, Nielsen ratings are pretty much at this point an outdated system. And a system that is very clear not to give the total picture, but is the system that is, largely dependent on to determine dollars or ad dollars, So we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot that they could do in TNA together. As far as again, will we see them in WWE? Maybe, but I think they also will appear in AEW. And look, if they find a way to do it, they could do it. Jeff and Matt Hardy could be the first wrestlers, I think, in a long time to appear in WWE, TNA, and AEW, all within a matter of just like 6 or 7 months. Crazy, crazy time in pro wrestling we live in. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see Jeff Hardy join broken Matt Hardy in TNA? Would you love to see him in WWE? Would you love to see him back in AEW? Let me know in the comment section. I want to hear from all of y'all. Be sure also to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. And until next time, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.